Hello, everybody. My name's Joel Filderman, and welcome to the Dog Trainers Connection. I'm not a dog trainer, but these other people you see here are. We get together, we discuss the topic, we come up with some thoughts, some ideas, sometimes some answers, but we always have an interesting discussion. Smaller group today, but unfortunately, there's due to this continuing coronavirus crisis, there really isn't a lot to talk about. So I think that for today, what I'd like to know is, well, a lot of states are reopening. A lot of states are changing what is going to happen. So I would like to ask you, dog trainers, what are you doing coming out of the lockdowns and other things to that effect? Jeff, you want to start us out today?
Sure, and I apologize if you hear banging in the background. That is my cat banging on the door, and there's nothing I can do about it. I tried to mute myself because all I heard was bung, 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 bung. Anyway, yeah, it's, while we were on lockdown, and I'm in North Carolina, so we experienced far less than what my family and friends experienced in the Northeast, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, during the lockdown, there was a couple of times I went out and met people because it was, it was a situation where something they needed, the dogs needed help. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
there was either a safety issue or a surrender issue. So, I kind of bit the bullet. I think I may have shared this on one of our other forums when we were talking about all the COVID crap. And we practiced social distance.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't wear a mask because, anyone who's worked with dogs with issues, the last thing you want to do is cover your face, put a hat on or a hoodie. Yeah, I mean, so, but it was outside. It was a nice day. So, we did the best we could. I gave them an end of my leash to attach to the dog, and they took their leash off. So,
Sure.
we did things responsibly. And I was glad I did. I was able to offer some help, at least hope, until this whole thing. The one dog, we were able to address some issues. The other one was kind of this should hold you over for a month until we can
Mm-hmm.
really do some work, that kind of
Sure.
stuff. So I did that during the lockdown, and I just started scheduling private sessions again. Today's the 9th as we're filming this.
Mm-hmm.
June 9th. So I had my first session the other day, private in people's homes.
And how was that?
It was great. It was a family of 4, 2 parents, 2 kids, 2 puppies.
They're
These
haunting you,
puppies.
huh? The
I just can't
puppies?
get away from these freaking puppies.
How was it different, Jeff?
um, it, I didn't know how to act. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, I wasn't sure about shaking hands. And I even asked, I'm like, and we were all laughing about it. It was, it was funny. I'm like, do we shake hands? And, and the wife happened to be a doctor. So that was helpful.
That's very helpful.
Yeah. So she understood where I was coming from as a layperson, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I didn't walk in the door, so I'm sure that set their mind at ease a little, but we just jumped right in. I worked the dogs for a little bit, and then, after a few minutes of shaping some obedience commands, we got the kids right involved, and they were 7 and 8 years old. It was a freaking blast because I love working with families. Especially a lot of times the kids do better than the parents. So I get a kick out of that. But it was good because there were 2 puppies, siblings, male, female. So they were the same age. The kids were 7 and 8 years old. And the little girl had far more control over the dogs than the little boy who was older. And I bring that up because anyone watching, as everyone here knows, sometimes the relationship between the handler and dogs varies by handler. And, it was evident just by the energy and the control that the little girl had over the dogs and her confidence. The little boy wasn't so confident around them. Mind you, they're 6 months old, big dogs jumping. So that's a little bit of an issue, but we had a blast. The kids worked a little bit, the parents worked a little bit. We chatted and then again, when I was leaving, I'm like, I'm like, normally I shake hands, I say thank
Mm,
you, and the husband was like, I'm shaking your hand.
mhm.
He came right in, we shook hands, and and I gave them, obviously they always get homework when I leave, and we have to have a follow up in a couple of weeks after they do some work, but it was with the exception of the initial awkwardness,
Mhm.
mostly coming from me because I didn't know how
Sure.
to behave, like as far as virus and stuff like that goes. Other than that, we jumped right in and business as usual, and then leaving again, a little awkwardness, but we laughed about it. And then I have another couple of privates coming up as well, and I'll do the same. I probably won't feel as awkward, and I can,
Mhm. Sure.
just because I don't know where everyone's at mentally and emotionally with dealing with this, so
Yeah.
I have to, be respectful of that. But I'll come in. I'll say hello and I'll bring it up. And you guys know me. I kind of try to bring levity to uncomfortable
Mhm.
situations. So I'll try and bring some levity. What do we do? We shake hands, or we just that kind of stuff. And I'll just kind of play it by ear. But once you work in the dogs, you're working the dogs. There's no difference.
Well, that was going to be my question. Do you think that the awkwardness, that initial awkwardness came, you know, left at least somewhat once you started doing what you do?
No, no, because generally I'm
Huh.
interacting with the dogs first. That's
Uh-huh.
usually why we're hired, because
Uh-huh.
they have no control over their dogs. So,
Okay.
yeah. So no, no, not necessarily.
Okay.
But again,
And
I go ahead, Bonnie. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was going to ask you, um, did any of them wear masks?
Nope,
No.
nope,
Okay.
no masks, no
Would
gloves.
would you feel as comfortable if you walked into a home and they had masks on themselves?
No, I would ask
What?
them if if that happened. I would probably say, if you want me to wear a mask, I will, but let me meet your dogs first. That's
Mm.
probably because I thought about that too.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
tried to prepare myself mentally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so if I go into the next home and if they're wearing masks or ask me to wear a mask, I have one. I'm just going to ask that they let me meet the dog first without any facial covering or head
Mm.
covering. But
Oh,
yeah, it's good.
that's an important piece, I think, of your work and
Yeah, I mean, in this
with
case
the
with the
dogs.
puppies, right? My next call is not a puppy, and I cannot have my face covered, and
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
got to be on my A game. So I got to make sure I greet this dog as naturally as possible. So but yeah, I mean, if it's their home, it's their money, it's their rules as far
Sure.
as how they need me to interact. My only rule that I need to follow is that I have to meet the dogs unmasked, if you will. So.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then I mean, I'm still doing Zooms, even though I'm going back into, I'm still doing privates. But we were talking beforehand, and Steve was mentioning how he's loving it, and I'm digging it too. And it's I'm making a fraction of what I do with privates, but it's also half the work.
Mhm.
It's the same knowledge base. It's just I'm not there for hands-on. But with I have a long microphone line. I put the lights on back there. I use my own dogs via Zoom if I have to show them how to do something,
Mhm.
or fit a collar or something like that. So I don't anticipate I'm going to abandon Zoom. In fact, I would probably, especially I get North Carolina is the same population as New Jersey, but like 6 times the size.
Yeah.
So my privates, they could go hour and a half away from me. So I would probably push them more towards that if I could first. And
Mhm.
then if we need hands on, then I would, bite the bullet and take the trip.
Mhm. And Steve, you're not taking in person right now. Is that correct?
Correct. I'm staying in
Mhm.
where we live. I mean, so,
You're in New York.
and I'm looking at everybody else. There's a lot of folks misbehaving in a way, in terms of this thing. And so, as long as they're going to misbehave, I'll just keep watching the numbers and see how it goes. In the meantime, I'm sharing my knowledge this way. That's it. I mean, and I don't have any room to be doing any like physical stuff. I mean, this week I had to help somebody with a French bulldog, like a puppy. So you know how they go when you bring the front down, the back end pops up, like because they're so square like this. In their legs, right? So they just like, they either throw them out behind, like they just don't know what to do. So I got the under the leg technique. So I have to roll my chair back and I got my leg up and the thing going like, it's got to go under the leg. That's it. That's it for demos. You know, I mean, I throw the leg. And you know what? She's on the floor over there. I'm watching. And son of a gun. I mean, just Frenchie. So sometimes the knees bend. Sometimes they flip back. You know, I said, listen, you got to get one thing to happen, right? Train the muscles, train the muscles. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But it's not the same as getting your hands on them for sure. But, you know, it's like Jeff says, first of all, you can't train a dog with a mask on. You know, dogs are going to be freaky enough coming out of this thing, not having been socialized well enough. And now they got to run with masks on the street. It's not bad enough. They weren't even given an opportunity to socialize with what looked like regular people. Now everybody's got a mask of some sort. Some of them got frightening masks on, right?
Yeah.
Pictures and stuff that scare the dog's scared enough. You need to have like a tiger on there. I mean, what? People are funny with this stuff. You know, they made it a fashion statement. It's like the dog doesn't need the aggravation. So you got to train a dog without that nonsense. And then when it comes to showing, I like to come over here. I need the humans close so that they watch close the timing, because I want to move from me to them fast. I want this to it's more important to watch them.
You mean the knowledge? Is that what you're talking about, moving?
Like technique. If I'm going to get on I'm going to show this puppy something,
Okay.
and like move it to them. I don't want them over there. I need them.
Got it.
So this is where it starts. I mean, at the end of a consult, if I were going out, I would put my mask on. You know, once I was done with the dog, I would probably offer that. I probably prefer that, to tell you the truth. Them to wear it, but you can't go into somebody's house and say, no mask, not coming in. I mean, you can. I'm not going. It doesn't matter. You know, so I would think that some trainers would be that. It's like, that would be one of the things on the phone that gets ironed out like straight away. It's like, by the way, you know, this is what I would need in order to comfortably come to your home and work with your dog. But I talked to somebody last week out in Long Island. She's out. I know that she's out. So
she's out training.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're also doing a lot of them are doing classes at a distance kind of thing. They're out in the open air and they feel that just in terms of distancing, they feel safe. Everybody feels safe.
Right.
Do that, right? I mean, Jeff's got dogs he can demo. He can like take a dog on a leash and he can have some people over there and he can show them.
Yeah.
He can watch how they do it, you know, that kind of stuff. And, you know, but then again, where he lives, he's less likely to like pick up some kind of nasty bug. It depends where you live, I think. But, and all the other factors, I mean, age, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Blood
Sure.
pressure, there's a list of things. So I think it's for each person to kind of decide how they're going to go about it. I think the dogs are going to, I know for sure separation anxiety, we're going to have to run a sale on that because it's going to be insane because I already am getting it. They're not even back out of their house yet. And if they walk out of the room, the dogs are going crazy. Right? I had a client in Florida. She gave the dog back to the breeder. She created this thing. It becomes 5 months old and bark. She can't like make a move without constant and chronic barking. If the dog can't be near her, constant. And so she created that. I mean, I'm sure she probably, I don't know if she realizes it or not, but a lot of people are doing that now. They're just not locking their dogs down, creating an atmosphere where the dog gets comfortable with being alone.
Mm-hmm.
And the dogs are going to pay for it in the end, because if you don't condition them and you just try and blast off on them, then they start doing what they do. Then these people all get mad at them as if they were purposely doing this stuff. There's a frustration. You know, I'm so thankful so many dogs got adopted out and went to rescue and all that stuff. Like, that's a thrilling part of it. The other side of it, we'll see as these things now change. And it's not the same picture for the dogs. Dogs love one shot. You know, that's a dog's thing. I love that shot. I know I'm comfortable with this photo.
Sure.
Start changing the thing into a movie, and the dog's like, wait, the movie's going too fast. You know, it's going too fast. The pictures are way too.
And with, the lockdown ending, it's the dog's been so used to you being there 24 hours a day or whatever, and all of a sudden, where'd you go? What happened? You know.
And not people are not thinking. I say to them, listen, the ones I do, the Zoom ones I do, I say, look, if you got a puppy, I'm not telling you to go over to the neighbors if you're uncomfortable with that, but you could put
Right.
the 25-foot line and let the dog go over there and say hi. Right?
Mhm.
The dog some freedom as long as it's traffic safe. Let the dog go over there. You don't have to expose yourself in order to socialize the dog.
Right.
So give it an opportunity. So they hear me. I don't know what they're doing, but you try to help them so that they don't run into like fear and defensive aggression problems and leash reactivity, and you do what you can to try and ward that stuff off if you get to these people early enough and if they follow the advice.
Mhm.
So I'm staying in for a while, Joel. If the question is you going out, the answer is no, not so much.
Okay. All right. And Bonnie, you're not going out either.
No, I'm not comfortable yet going out.
Mhm.
Even to meet a group of friends that I really would love to see in somebody's yard with the distancing and the disinfectants, and everybody would definitely have masks. I'm going to wait a little bit, at
Mhm.
least till July. Just reading some stuff and just not feeling that comfortable with it yet, personally.
But you
And
are training somebody online right now,
yeah, I have
and they're out of state.
yep, a former client that I had worked with in person in Manhattan years ago. And she just adopted a year-old Fox Terrier mix, probably Fox Terrier Chihuahua. Really sweet, sweet, lovely dog. And I was thinking of you, Steve, because I learned a whole lot about housebreaking techniques when I studied with you, and from the marking 30-minute webinar you did for us. And my God, this dog had to have been returned wherever. I think it was brought up with other dogs from the South with a group of them, but this dog was just peeing all over. But this woman that I'm working with, because she doesn't want to go out at certain times, and she did it with her min pin in Manhattan, she works on training to the wee wee pad and outside. And I told her, I said, if anybody's going to accomplish that, it's you, because she does it, works it, put all the wee wee pads out in one area. I mean, she's sort of following what I say, but it's taken a few sessions to. But in the meantime, I'm trying to let this dog relax and come down from being shuffled around. And so there's just that fine line between working her issue and telling her, relax, you got to give some time for this dog. And she thought if she didn't train this dog now to everything, hop in a bag, down, stay, wait, come, that she couldn't do it after that because it was already a year. And the minute I told her, it's okay, you don't have to, it just let you relax, let her relax, and knock wood, it's getting better. It's getting better. But this woman is like that thing about, one texture and this and that. She's doing, and she's taking the dog out for walks. I guess everybody's wearing, it's in the DC area, wearing masks, but she's socializing the dog and getting it to go into a bag, and what she had done with her min pin. And she's like, we're doing this.
But what's the challenges that you're finding, Bonnie, doing this online as opposed to doing it in person?
I think I was trying to teach her a retrieve with two squeaky toys. And it was a little hard for me because I don't have a dog. So I was using two squeaky toys and just doing the pretend how I teach it initially. Um, and and it usually worked when I taught it to somebody in their house, but I mean, sometimes it didn't, but it did work a lot. And that was a little frustrating. And then online with her the last time, her dog was sleepy. And it's just like, no, I don't want to do anything. I just
Mhm.
want to lay in the bed. So I just ended up continuing to talk with her and about what she was concerned about and some supplies and toys to get, etc. But I think if I had been there in person, I might have tried to work with the dog a little bit and get it excited and engaged. And so that was a little frustrating. But
Mhm.
you know, she was fine with it because I'm helping her out. She trusts me, and she trusts me when things don't go well, that I'm going to give her good advice. And you know, she started referring me to other people that she runs into, which is cool. And yeah, so it's good. And I know, Steve, you know that the housebreaking thing you can work on via Zoom. And you know, and there were issues like the dog's in heat. Why is it peeing so much? Does it have a urinary tract infection? And all of that coming into play with all of this. But you know, I felt really good that I could help her, even not being there.
Knowledge. It's the knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, this is,
Yep.
I mean, this is what we know. So, I mean, in my Zoom sessions, they're more or less required to have a pad and a pen. I don't even need to see the dog. You know, I mean,
Mm.
unless there's
Mm.
something going on and I really need to see, you know, look, not that many people actually, unless they present the dog. I mean, sometimes they get it like this, here he is, you know, and that's,
But you know, Steve, that flies against you. You always taught, look at the dog in front of you and see it, and then you would take in the dog, the atmosphere, the smells, the what's the dog experience, how does it move.
right. So these are things that you would most naturally do upon walking into a home, right?
Right.
And now it's not like that. Now it's okay. What behaviors are we going to just talk about? Like, what are you, like, we're on, we talking about a housebreaking schedule? Are we talking about mouthy behavior? I don't get the luxury of seeing. So what I have
Mm-hmm.
to give them basically, I don't know, just information from experience. And then I need to back and forth, you know, it's a text, it's this is working, this is not, what do I do about this? You know, things like that. So look, a barking puppy in the crate, a lot of times if you tell them to cover the crate, the puppy doesn't bark anymore. It's a pretty simple thing. You don't have to see the dog or the barking in the crate. You know, we know from experience, if you cover the crate, a lot of puppies, no visual stim, they just shut down, go take a nap. So it's things like this that there's so much of those things, and the basic
Mm-hmm.
idea of, you know, if you have control, then you're less frustrated than if you don't. Don't want to give commands that you're not going to enforce. So, you know, I teach people with the puppies, like, don't even talk, you know, keep your mouth shut. If you're going to talk at all, you
Yeah.
can name existing behavior to start. That's it. If it's coming, say come. But, you know,
Oh,
good.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ask it to come. Don't ask it to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's this kind of stuff. Like, that's just basic teaching information the way I see it. I can't be specific to the dog because I'm really not looking at it, but I could be pretty specific to the behaviors or the technique in teaching, you know, teaching technique kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
What Zoom is really good for, you know, so pad and pen, you know, they get what they get.
It's funny you say, I actually, I see them with the pad and pen. I tell them to put it down because they get a recording from me.
Oh,
I record it and I send them a recording. I said,
Mm.
look, I'd rather have your undivided attention. You're getting a copy of this video, so don't worry
Yep.
about taking notes. And sometimes it comes in handy because, oh, my husband's not here. I was like, don't worry, you're getting a copy, so it'll be coming from me, not you. You know how the whole spouse chemistry thing can work
Oh.
sometimes, you know? The husband won't listen to the wife, or the wife won't listen to the husband. So, and
Totally.
ironically, if they're on a laptop or a mobile device, there's been times I take me there. Let's go, pick up the laptop, bring me to that room. I need to see it. So they will take me around the house to get that environmental feel. Obviously, it's not the same as in person, but I've
Sure.
had them do that. I've had follow-up sessions where they had to do some leash work, and I gave them some homework. They had a friend of theirs on Zoom videoing them as I'm watching, and then they come back, switch hands, and then we talk, and then they go do it again. So, you know,
Wow.
it's, yeah, there's ways around it
That's-
unless they're on a computer. Like right now, I'm on my computer. It's a desktop.
Yeah.
So
right, right.
if someone's on a desktop, they can't take me anywhere. But if they're on a laptop, a tablet, or a phone,
Yep.
I'll tell them, you know, can you pan over there a little bit? Because the one session I had, the dog was just fixated on something, and I'm like, could you turn over there real quick? I want to see what the hell's going on over there. And it was just like a window or something, but something caught the dog's
But that's
eye.
what the dog was fixated on, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah. Steve, you should try. You know, with the Zoom, you can record and just send them a copy of the file. I send it through WeTransfer, which is free up to 2 gig, and you just send them a copy of their Zoom file.
I have to try and do that. I mean, I sort of like, you know, it's my old teaching days that, you know, smile,
Yeah.
a pad and a pen, Jeff, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I still use a pad and a pen.
Me too.
Hey, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Wow. This is so cool.
All right, folks. So I want to thank you guys for all being here. I want to thank everybody for watching, and everybody stay safe. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you next time. So thanks a lot now. Bye-bye.